Alrighty. Is there any way to make chat bigger? It's kind of late. Alrighty. This is kind of a impromptu stream. I was actually not going to stream today because I was a bit tired, but I was playing Assassin's Creed and that was making me even more sleepy, so... Anyways, let's not mince words too much. Let's get on with this. Because I'm only interested in the boot troop mostly. I did my main initial stream. The rest of this is more just finishing up and sharing any final facts I can think of. But if you guys have any questions, as usual, feel free to ask. So I'm assuming everything sounds good audio-wise. So where were we last? We did Dead Bird, so I guess we'll be doing Subcon, right? Good old Subcon. One of the best. Yeah. Alrighty. Ooh, Queen Vanessa. I do like that one. I guess that's the one we're doing. So let's do it. This is a classic one, right, guys? Classic staple in the Hat in Time. Queen Vanessa, designed by Jonas, concepted by Luigi. In terms of why it exists, Jonas likes to do the creeps, the creepy. Of course it is. Yeah, I think Jonas just likes dark stuff as much as I do. So let's get a contract and let's sort that out. We'll skip through this because I have heard this so many times. Nope. What's this one? Ah, cool. This one. I love this one. Let's go on. Let's go. Let's go. Not a bad choice. Breathe. Yeah. If Dan hates reading, then I hate listening to Snatcher. He talks too much. What? I've never seen that before. What the hell is this animation? It looks like he's trying to hop on a scooter. What the fuck? Vroom vroom. Anyways. Yeah, I'm as confused as you. That was weird. Anyways, we don't have the fox mask, right? But thankfully this was designed for casuals. I wonder if that's like a bug or something, like a death wish. Ooh, that was kind of buggy. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the old speed run stuff. Apparently I can't do it. Oh, that's right, you have to like hop on the guy, don't you, or something. That's right. Kind of funny that this is still in, actually. Yeah, this was designed by Jonas. This pathway was here initially, but the pathway didn't have anything particularly interesting in it, so I believe it was Jonas that designed it. Did a good job filling out with puzzles and stuff. Very Zelda-y. Not much to really add. It's kind of funny that you can see like the edge of the cave there, a bit rough on my end. Could have done a bit better there, but yeah. But yeah, I really like this corridor. It's kind of Dark Souls-y and didn't take a lot of effort to make, really. Just a bunch of crystals spanned all over the place, and there's huge invisible walls, you know, to stop the player from getting stuck. Because none of this has collision. That would be kind of dumb. So having these walls, although I must say this wall here is a bit over the top. Probably should have pulled that back just a tad. But yeah, let's carry on, shall we? So obviously got a great music build up. Pascal did a fantastic job. I believe Dan especially likes this song that comes up now. I think it came up in the trailer, right? And That was pretty cool. For the longest time there was a bug here where you would dive on this and then Hackett would just randomly bonk on like the air sort of thing. You'll actually see that in Dan's Bob Runs for President mod. And the reason is because if you turn on per poly and then scale up a mesh to like like a really big size, then the game doesn't know what to do. So if you want to fix that, Dan, you just basically got to descale the model and then just scale it up in max or something, and then make sure it's a scale of 1, and that will fix that problem. So yeah, avoid scaling things up. But in general, not much to say about this really. I think it's really cool that the can I look up, please? Apparently the game is not letting me look up what's going on here. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, it must be the Vanessa crap. Because, right, well I can't look up anymore now, but there's a big hole. Oh, okay. There's a big hole up there which is really cool, shines the moonlight down, really sort of creates that kind of ominous scene. It definitely highlights that kind of sun and moon thing that I was going for with the Vanessa and Snatcher. So, yeah, here's a classic obviously. We know this level very well. The only thing that really changed obviously was the crystal theme. I went pretty harsh on the crystals and it looks really good, I think. I do like it, very cool. And then there's obviously this, but we don't have the... No, we don't have that fox mask, but you can see the prince there. Obviously that was the original prince, the moon jumper, but obviously it was retconned, became the Snatcher. That's pretty cool. And then obviously this was added last minute as well. This was obviously to make sure that players knew why they couldn't use hats and stuff, or that they can use what hats can they use? Just the helper hat apparently, maybe not. And over here was where the excuse me, the Vanessa love badge was before that was cut. And there's kind of a little joke, isn't there, where the Vanessa love badge is up here, excuse me, and down here is Vanessa's basement hole. That's Hab British humour there for you. But I don't. Can you actually go into first person? Yeah, you can, but only with mouse. I think originally I was going to hide some stuff here, but I guess I never got around to it. And it's kind of a silly thing as well. But if you look up in the beta, you'll notice that the edge of the room here, there's like a cut where the water is. And I was like, oh hell no! So I hacked a little fix. You can actually see it about here. You see how it's 3D, but most of the time you don't see it because there's actually like a black wall that blocks it. But it's a nice little hacky fix. So that's cool. But yeah, no, the Vanessa skip was done using the Vanessa hug strat. Then you know the Vanessa hug strat. So yeah, let's see. Anything particularly interesting about this? I mean, I'm kind of annoyed that that's not blocked off. That's kind of dumb. There should be a black wall there. I'm surprised there isn't. But making this level was kind of a pain. There's a lot of black walls that block the camera to prevent players from seeing through into other rooms. But I took a lot of trial and error on my part. And then originally we had the conductor here, but then obviously the conductor didn't make sense anymore, so that was removed. And so I put all the cut characters except for TV Man, I believe, because TV Man didn't have an animation file. So yeah, Dan, I really cannot be bothered. I mean, if people want to see it, they can just watch the VOD. I'm just trying to speed up a little bit because I would like to enjoy my weekend relaxing. Not to say I don't enjoy this, but we've got a lot of content to get through, and I took my time on the first stream. Whoa, this has changed. This didn't used to be blue. This used to be green, didn't it? I'm guessing this was changed because green notified dweller stuff. So yeah. And yeah, you remember there was like a button here. So that was removed. That button opened up the shortcut here, which don't know if I can actually see through or not. Oh, cool! I can actually get through here. Huh? The actual corridor has been removed, but apparently the candle still remains. That's kind of funny. But yeah, there used to be a shortcut here that would open up a secret, but once again, hat changed. Anyway, Conan wants me to do the instant roach. I have never done the instant roach in my life, so I don't think I can actually do it, Conan. But in terms of lore, there's some cool stuff here. Vanessa eating cookies and stabbing knife into the table, whereas this side is nice and clean, almost like she's waiting for a prince. That's pretty funny. It's kind of funny to me that the keys no longer have physics. They used to have physics, didn't they? But there was a bug where the keychain part would like zap across the room whenever you pick them up, and Jonas fixed it. But then I think it broke again. So I guess his ultimate fix was just to make them not move at all. So that's that. Excuse me. So yeah, this is wait, so okay, so it actually does move then. Interesting. Kind of weirdly though. But that's that. It's got a little animation, that looks pretty cool. So yeah, this puzzle's kind of weird, right? I personally think it's kind of a bit a bit strange because, you know, the book's hanging. A lot of people get confused. They think, well, why can't I just grab it? So it's a bit definitely a bit strange. So we're gonna take the casual route. Pretty cool. It's Mr. Arking. But yeah, I don't really understand why Jonas went for like a double slam. Bit strange, but oh well. Otherwise, yeah, put characters all around. That came out pretty good. I have no idea why there's a pond there. It's there's just random ponds all around here for some reason. Here's a little little lore thing. Little cookie man. A still lit cigar. Interesting. Very strange lore. So Kona asks, why did you choose to put the roaches on the piano? That was Jonas's decision, and I have no idea why he chose a roach. But I guess from a you know, like a design point, that would be quite easy to, you know, make work. It certainly catches the eye, obviously. I personally can't think of any other thing that would work. I suppose, I don't know, maybe like a little tip on the screen that says jump on the piano twice or something like that, you know, but a bit kind of fourth wall-y, which is not really our forte. There's some classic writing, bit of lore, nothing particularly new, but this was added. I actually didn't know who added this. I think Wergezel added this, but you know, it adds a bit more lore, obviously. Which is pretty interesting stuff, but obviously I'm not gonna go through it, but pretty cool. There was a fun fact where this mirror, as you can see, it reflects the door in the back there. Well, the door was transparent, as you can see here, right? It's transparent, so when it was reflecting, it was actually reflecting the transparent door, which was kind of dumb. So I made a really dumb hack where I think there's two doors or something, and I don't know, I guess I just cut it in a sort of certain way, and so it just kind of works. It's really dumb. I'm pretty sure Jonas could have just programmed it to be proper, but that's that. There's the infamous painting, obviously. That's Jonas's decision once again. Just, I don't know, I guess he wanted to be creepy. Originally I blocked this off so that you couldn't see her. Well, that was a bit derpy. You couldn't normally see her through here, but Jonas told me to remove it, I guess, because it was just, excuse me, blocking players and stuff. So, I don't know, I guess it kind of takes away from the fear a little bit, because if you don't know where she is, it can be a bit, you know, a bit unsettling, obviously. But now that I know where she is, I can just sort of dance around her. And it's kind of funny, actually, because that clock hand is visible, but that clock hand should be transparent. But I think because it's a skeletal mesh or something, then it just doesn't go transparent, which is kind of dumb. But that's that. And the book as well, apparently. There you go, rocking horse. I think you can get this stuck or something. Yeah, you can get this stuck. Kind of dumb. But yeah, as I said, I put a lot of cut characters in, and I was a bit humorous with the way they posed. You know, that's one way to die. Anyway, let's carry on. Yeah, Jonas is responsible for all the arcing stuff. Pretty funny. So obviously this is the classic jump scare. Most players go into the chair on the right, but those that are smart go in here and get a nice little gag, which is once again Jonas's humour. Jonas is a funny guy. Yeah, the way players tackle this particular level it's always fascinating to watch. Some, you know, go straight for the key, some struggle. It's quite interesting. And obviously there's the old man, the cut character from Mafia Town. Rest in peace, dude. I put him in the heart attack pose. That's classic. So is there anything else particularly? Yeah, the dab. So that's a bit of a bait there. You're like, what? Why didn't it pop? So then you're sort of like unsettled, but you just sort of discard it, and then you see that and you're like, oh! And I've actually seen quite a few people get startled by that. It makes me laugh. It's not even that like scary, but I guess they get creeped out by it. And as for the lore implications, I have no idea. I think Jonas was just trying to creep people out or something. But it's kind of interesting though that she's holding the fox mask. Makes you wonder. Also, that face, it reminds me of Zara's map now. With the eyes and the mouth. So obviously that's the jump scare that gets everyone, and I've seen some people legitimately jump at that. And there was a problem where people would be like, well, what do I do now? And some of them would go out here, so we were like, no. So we disabled the door to stop people from doing that. So then obviously they go for this door. And what happened was that people would go for this door, see Vanessa, and then immediately go back in this room, and then miss what they were supposed to see. So what happens is that when you go in there, you can't go back in this room anymore until she leaves, I believe. But the silly thing is that a lot of people just stare at Vanessa, and then they don't see the key. So they're like, oh shit, 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 and they're looking at Vanessa, and they don't see the key. I always find that kind of funny and dumb, and then they see this, and they're like, what the hell's this? And I think you can actually get a bit stuck on this. Kind of silly. But yeah, you can hear the shower now, right? You can hear the shower, but a lot of people didn't actually notice that, which is kind of funny. Even though there's like particles and stuff, they just kind of walk past it and go, ooh, what the hell's that? So that's that. There's our boy, 4, in here. There's a great pose. So had to pay my respects to him, obviously. So it's a classic, bit like a, what's it called, Scream, whatever it's called, thriller. My prince has gone, and obviously she's obsessed with cookies. This is meant to be lipstick, by the way. Some people were like, oh, that's blood. But it is meant to be lipstick. That is something that I added on my own, and it's remained ever since. And you can actually tell it's lipstick because there are smudges around the A and stuff. So that's, yeah, Dan's right, kinda. Alright, let's try. Hey, I did it. I've never done that before. So there is, oh, god damn it. There we go. Tim, our boy Tim, looking good. I don't think he had any animations. The only animations he had were like laughing or something. So I just put him in the laughing pose, and that's that. And I think Jonas extended the trigger because before you had to jump on the toilet, but a lot of players couldn't get on top of it, so that was changed, I believe. So now we're going to head to the 3rd floor. Oh, oh yeah, there's no 3rd floor anymore. I'm joking, by the way. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that the 3rd floor was removed, but it's just one of those things where, you know, it wasn't fun, and Jonas said yesterday that even if he had time, he probably wouldn't have redesigned it. I'm guessing he was happy with the pacing. I do wonder though how people would have reacted had they not known about the 3rd floor, because the pacing of that kind of feels weird, right? It feels kind of odd. But so I don't have the fox mask, but I'm just gonna. Oh, you can't. Actually, I remember players tried to jump on this, which is kind of funny, and for some reason that is removed. Well, okay then, because I patched that. Why is this removed? There used to be an invisible thing here. Anyway, Kona asks, was Shadow Kid supposed to play a bigger role? And the answer is not really, no. That was Snatcher, obviously. Snatcher taking on your form as a prankster terms of like plot development, nah. Just a prankster trying to cause problems and stuff. But then obviously Snatcher had a bigger role. Things got cut, and yeah, that was the Snatcher himself. He was taking your form. In fact, if you know the boss fight, right? He takes your form, and then he's like, "Look at you, you look so dumb," or something, and he taunts you and stuff. So that's Snatcher, because he's a shadow creature that takes forms and stuff like that. So that begs the question then: is the Snatcher? Does he look like that? Is that what he's supposed to look like, or does he just take that form? Food for thought. Alright, so moving on, we are going to do the toilet boss, right? Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff. So we're going to do the Toilet of Doom. Toilet of Doom, it's kind of a few things to say. So, the guy who asked me yesterday, he's probably not here, but he asked me if the brown stuff, the mud, was shit. And the answer is, it used to be, yeah. When Jonas was making the toilet boss, he every time he jumped around, he would leave these kind of brown marks everywhere, and if you walked into them, you would take damage, and also Hatkid would be covered in brown stuff. And obviously, we were doing toilet humor there at the time, so that was the joke. In terms of toilet boss, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this detail or not, but apparently, the Snatcher took someone's soul and placed it inside the toilet. Which soul that is up to you to decide, but I do believe there is actually an answer to that. Alright, let's do the toilet boss. Pretty standard stuff. Yeah, it could be Timmy. Radical toilet. Reduced to a toilet. So yeah, this boss was kind of different in the old days. He had kind of like square platforms, and it was a bit like something out of Banjo. No, not Banjo. Donkey Kong 64. You know that one boss with the Jack-in-the-Box where he would jump on the squares, sort of thing. It was kind of like that, and it was kind of shit. Cue the pun. But other than that, Jonas got a lot better at bosses and created this masterpiece. It's a pretty good boss, actually. I do like this boss. It feels very satisfying, and the range of the bombs is pretty generous as well. So a lot of casuals don't struggle with it, for the most part. Though I did watch one guy who didn't know that you could do this part here. So for the longest time, he just sort of stood around. Oh, actually, no, sorry, my apologies. He knew you had to hook shot, but he didn't actually attack the toilet, which is kind of funny to watch. But there you go. So, yeah, introducing the cherry mechanic. Pretty standard stuff. Well, I'm not surprised. All these particle effects, my dude. But yeah, we did a pretty good job with optimizing for the most part. I can't understate how much work went into optimization. So I should get the cherry. There we go. Oh, that was kind of cheap. Come on. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. I think at one point all these audience members were like individual characters or something, and freaking lagged the hell out of the game. Like even on PC, the lag was like 20 FPS or something. So glad that was fixed, because this boss is great. Love it. Once again, he turns blue, which is important because blue is obviously the weak indicator. What am I doing? What am I doing? But I believe there's one boss that doesn't turn blue, which is the conductor boss, right? Which is kind of strange, because you would think we would keep that kind of continual lore, but I guess Jonas forgot. It's not a big deal, I guess. Ooh, that was tight. Actually, if I can get a chance, I just want to show off a little funny little thing. Ow! Ooh! Oh, damn it. Well, anyway, I was going to say that if you look at the bottom of the toilet, you'll notice that there's actually holes at the bottom, because the 3D modeler that worked on that toilet, he forgot to seal the bottom. So that's kind of dumb. So that's that. I actually don't know, Zara. I'd have to look it up for you, because I actually don't know. I think they're combined or something. There's like some kind of setting or something. I don't know. But if you remind me, perhaps I'll look into it for you. Why do you want them anyway? I thought you were trying to make your fight look unique. So this is something that kind of threw off a lot of people, is they were like, well, how do I get the next contract? And we got quite a lot of people asking that question, which is kind of funny. Where is the next one? I think it's, yeah, I know where this one is. So yeah, we had quite a few people who didn't know how to get the next contract, which is kind of funny. So I believe I need to burn the moon, right? Actually, can I just? I think I can just go this way, right? Get some sprint going. Here we go. So thankfully I was able to fix those decals. I'm glad. Oh yeah, the noose. So what's the story of the noose? I actually don't know. I think Jonas just said, hey Hab, can you model a noose character? And I was like, sure. And then I guess Jonas wanted him to talk for some reason. I actually don't know. But once again, I think Jonas is dark humour. So let's get the contract. I'm gonna skip this because I hate this guy. I'm joking. He's a great character. He talks too much. Also, this is one thing that I don't like. So I got this contract, right? But now I have to leave the level and then reload the level to enter the actual chapter itself, which is kind of dumb. I kind of wish that you could just like go to wherever it is and just do it. That's kind of silly. But let me think. Is there anything else in this place? There's pretty dark stuff in this level, right? Like there's this guy hanging, twitching, pretty grim. There's also there it is. That boat with the umbrella. That's a reference to Adventure Time, one of my favourite shows. Couldn't resist putting an Easter egg in. So that's if you look up Adventure Time Treehouse, you will see the reference. Right. Anyway, so let's go back to Hub. That's that. Alright, time for my... I mean, it's not bad, right? But this one is definitely one of our weaker acts for this chapter, I feel. I know speedrunners like it, because it's fast and it's good with the mouse and all that. But in terms of just seems kind of out of place to me. Some classic Snatcher humour. Minions? Who doesn't like a good minion? Oh, poof. So I think there's some kind of like foreshadowing there, because he constantly says about heads popping and stuff, and I think it's a foreshadowing of the fact that he got a lot of people to sign his contracts, and then afterwards, when he had no more use for them, he would pop their heads off. That's that. Right, Dan, you didn't really miss much. I was just telling about the Adventure Time Easter egg, and Vanessa's mansion was pretty spooky. And, this is definitely one of my least favourite acts, I was just saying. But yeah. Right, so I've got it. Let's go. Yeah, Dan. Alright, I'll show it real quick. There's actually quite a few Easter eggs in this level. But up here, Dan. Oh, right. If you see this, there's a boat in a tree. That is an Adventure Time Easter egg. If you look up Adventure Time Treehouse, you will get it. Right, how do I aim this? Cool. Excuse me. 360 no scope. Bam. So I actually tried to pitch to Jonas a way to improve this. I was like, what if there was like a point system for doing it stylishly like this sort of thing, or doing like a 360. Fortunately that didn't go through. It's kind of dumb that you can't, you can still fire through like this. A bit silly. I always found that a bit weird. But, the giant timepiece yet? No, I have not. But there's not really much to say about that. In terms of God damn it. Alright, let's try and mushroom this. Okay, let's do this and then... Can I not? Oh, god damn it. The fire spirits. But so yeah, in regards to the... there we go, cool. The giant hourglass, that was one of Jenna's landmarks. And it looked really cool in the concept, but... unfortunately, ran out of time again. So, Wergazelle decorated it as best as he could. Did a fantastic job. But, yeah. Awesome music, by the way. I love this music. Try and get this trick shot. Bam! Oh, maybe not this. Too far away, I think. Let's just do this. Ba-ding! Oh, oh. So there's actually these parcels. There's, I think, 4 of them. A box, a letter, and like a dog bone or something. And there's actually a cut package. It's kind of like a mushroom wrapped up. I'm kind of unsure why it was cut, but I guess Janice just thought it looked a bit weird or something. So that's actually, yeah, cut content. Even the packages. It's pretty wild, huh? But, yeah, pretty standard chapter. You can have 2 parcels. Ooh, splish, splash. It's pretty cool. Okay. What? Okay. Did I model it? I most certainly did. You can probably see it in the files still if you look up the deliveries and stuff. It's like a brown mushroom. So yeah, not much to really say about this act. It was designed by Jonas and was around for a really long time and didn't really change that much. Well, okay then. We're just gonna pretend I didn't see that. I mean, it could have been cut because it looked phallic, but I think Jonas just didn't really care for it. Just thought it looked a bit crap, so he was like, nah. To be fair, the concept wasn't very detailed. It was just like a brown blob, and I was just like, okay then, well, I'll make a brown blob then. So yeah, Subcon, pretty straightforward chapter in general. Actually, pretty quick. Quite surprised by that. But, now for the finale. In terms of Snatcher being the boss, he kind of was and kind of wasn't always meant to be the boss. There's actually a couple of things. So first of all, the Snatcher and the Toilet boss fights were both meant to happen one after the other in the same chapter, same act rather. The reason it was split was, one, we had switched over to the finale flow, if you want to call it that. And so we needed obviously a proper ending, so separating Snatcher obviously made sense. At the time we had no like way of closing Subcon, and I believe there was an idea to have some kind of tea party or something, where you would have a tea party with Snatcher, and I don't know, I guess he would just be like, hey, how you doing? Have a timepiece or something, I don't know. So long ago. But that was split off and made into his own boss. That's pretty cool. Kid. Head. Coincidence. Yeah, doesn't it? That's very Jonas. So this is kind of cool, right? Very dark. Very grim. Definitely one of the coolest presentations I feel. They belong to me. They fell in my forest, kid. They belong to me. Me. Good pronunciation. I also like how the camera just sort of pans to the left and then back to the center again, and that the hook shot is clipping through Snatcher. Just funny little things like that. Yeah, this is a cool effect by Jonas. I really like this. Kind of reminds me of something like Undertale. Also, this is kind of a fun fact, but Jonas tends to use a lot of placeholder music for when he makes these things. And the song that he used for this was the Asgard theme. So yeah, pretty straightforward thing. The whole blue vial thing was my idea. Jonas was making this boss at the time. He was looking for feedback, obviously, but he couldn't figure out a way to, I guess, to make it work or something. So I just said to him, well, you know, Snatcher's a funny guy, right? Why don't you turn him blue? And then he's like, what the heck? Does that work? And Jonas found that pretty funny. And there you go, it worked. Sometimes it's just like the simplest ideas, you know? But otherwise, yeah, once again, designed by Jonas. It was actually harder, way harder. But as with most bosses in Hat, they get nerfed as we get feedback. Typically we make something like Death Wish and then we sort of turn it down a bit. Oh my god, it's Sans from Undertale. Nice little thing you can do, you can hit them. Also, I don't know if you ever noticed, but their eyes are kind of weird. They're like little Pac-Mans that spin. It's kind of funny. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Jonas utilised a lot of the toilet stuff for this guy. So that's pretty cool. Alright, let's get the blue thing. Cue the humour. Did you just color me blue with my own attack? This can't count, right? Surely this doesn't count. That's a nice little gag. Time to die. So obviously amps up. And I believe you can actually go inside the outside ring. And it doesn't hurt you. So if I try it here, yeah, it doesn't hurt you. Kind of interesting little design choice there. Because a lot of people avoid the rings in general. But, oh shit! Oh! Oh god, my flawless run is ruined. So this is an attack that obviously confused a lot of people. I actually understood it first time, because I'm pretty good at picking up on those sort of things, but a lot of people didn't. So Jonas added particle effects and sound effects and stuff. Yeah, I think even Dan didn't realise what the heck that attack was for like the longest time. It's pretty funny. Because you can just brute force your way through this fight with the, oh shit, 4 HP. But awesome music, by the way. Everyone says this is their favourite song. Oh no! Thank you. So yeah, his health was kind of short. I think Jonas did that because, well, one of two things. One is that I told you that both boss fights, the Toilet and Snatcher, were meant to happen one after the other. So Snatcher's health was shortened to make that fight bearable, obviously. But I also think even though after he was split, why wasn't it increased? And I believe our average testers struggled with it in general, because it's kind of a hard boss fight for casuals. So, yeah. And I remember some people, they thought that that wasn't the end of the boss fight because of how short that phase is. So they think, oh, well, here comes the real boss fight. And I don't blame them for thinking that, but guys, I mean, boss fights, it took Jonas like 5 months to make each boss fight. Boss fights are no joke. They go through a lot of testing, a lot of, you know, he has to think up attacks, he has to program them, test them all. It's pretty wild. So, Kona says, why is the hitbox influenced by the game's resolution? And I actually did not know that. That's an interesting fact. And I would say blame Unreal? Blame Jonas? One of those two. Dang it, Jonas. So this gag was Jonas's. Once again, another humorous thing. Jonas is a funny guy. And obviously this went down pretty well with a lot of people. They got a good laugh out of it. And it's very cleverly done as well, all done through shaders and stuff. And when he first showed it to me, I was like, how the hell did you do that? Very clever.
What if I give you your soul back? Will that make you leave?
And yes, you can actually beat the game without getting your soul back. There's our usual dark humor. But this let me just wait until he's finished talking. This particular space, this dark space, I've always found it kind of fascinating because it's kind of like, well, where is this sort of thing? Kind of would have been cool to have explored this a bit more. Kind of reminds me of like Mole Men or something. But as I said before, the placeholder music for the Snatcher fight was the Asgard theme, and the placeholder for this area was the exit to the mountain sound effect. Kind of funny, right? Sweeten the deal. Yeah, the Asgard theme, Undertale.
Here, take my last timepiece. If I continue to see you around my forest after this, I'll be very disappointed.
I'm pretty sure I saw Asgard somewhere. Maybe it is Asgore. My bad. I haven't played Undertale for 2 years, so cue the fan base coming. Yeah, you probably can. I think Pascal, when he replaces the placeholders, I do think sometimes he gets kind of influenced a little bit. Cause, you know, Jonas is like, can you make something something similar to this placeholder, but obviously don't copy it, sort of thing. And Pascal did a great job. All right, so that's that. We're moving on to Alps and Sales. Yeah, I said it. Alps and Sales. Let's see. Awesome. Alright, let's go. So obviously I did the intro last minute. So we're gonna go straight into it. Yes. Damn, that's a pretty cool fact. I didn't know about that, Dan. That's really cool. So Alps was one of the last levels that we worked on, obviously, and that was done in, I think, 4 months, I believe we said. We obviously replaced Sand and Sails with this beautiful level, and it was a lot of hard work, but it makes use of the same models. So, for example, there's only 2 houses, this yellow one, and I don't know if there's another house model on this particular island, but like I said, we were very smart with the way that we reused models and stuff. So that's that. So I'll let you guys choose which direction do you want me to go in. You guys can vote while I go and blow the horn. Ooh. What the hell's that? This way to the lava cake. We got looks like 2 for lava cake, 3 for lava cake. Alrighty then, lava cake it is. Lava cake is one of the shortest ones to do. So I don't mind that. Oh, the leaves. Okay, Dan, if you want to know how to do the leaves, what's it called? Damn it. There's a game that was on Polycount. It never came out, but it was a game that these really good 3D artists were working on. And they developed the technique to blend leaves onto trees. And they actually wrote out a tutorial on how to do it. And the way it works is that you basically make 2 planes that are cross, and then you put the leaf texture on it, and then you use a tool to paint the leaves, the planes, all over the model, and tell it to use the normals to make sure that it faces the right direction. And then in order to make it blend, you have to use a third-party tool, and that basically makes it look well, it changes the normals to look correct, essentially, so you get this nice smoothness, which came out pretty damn good. As for the rest, Jonas made them move a little bit, and that's the end of that. In fact, you can see how they how they move. It kind of just sort of distorts. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, if you remind me after the stream, I will find that document for you, and you can learn how to do it. So let's make some progress, yeah. So in terms of like detail and stuff, we were running out of time. So I actually asked Pascal if he would be willing to help me decorate. So this cave that we're heading towards now, this was designed by Pascal, and yes, that particle was frozen. But yeah, it's a good job, Pascal. He added all these kind of cinematic rocks and stuff. Is there anything particularly interesting, really? I mean, like I said, we were very efficient with the models. I think my favourite was working on this one because there were a lot of lava-themed assets that I could work with. Made it very easy to construct, which is pretty cool. Oh, shit, I was looking at what Raz was saying. So Raz asks, do I hold the hook shot when I ride? And I let go, because obviously I know that it's automatic, but I think on initial playtesting I held it, and then I was like, hang on a minute, what if I let go? And I believe I said yesterday, last night, that zip lines were different, because back then you did have to hold on. If you let go, then you could literally dismount and change to different zip lines. It was very Sonic-y in the way it kind of switched. So you would go on hiss, you would let go, you would fling up in the air, you would switch to a different zip line. It was very fun, actually. Kind of a shame that that iteration didn't make it into the game. This one's a bit more automated, obviously, but it is what it is. In terms of island construction, yeah, I've actually got videos of it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to show it, but it's really cool to look at. It shows sand and sails with that zip line. They look really cool. But yeah, in terms of island construction, Wurgazel did, I believe he did all of the designs for these islands, and then it was up to me and several others to decorate them. A lot of it's just place a prop here, place a prop there, put a decal on, and then move on. And then a lot of ambient embers. That's true, but that's a mod, and that's illegal. But yeah, here's an example of 2 buildings. These are the 2 buildings in the entire Alps level, and these are scattered all over the bloody place. Pretty funny. Ambient embers, yeah. Kind of weird that you float on this hole here, but it's whatever. Alright, moving on. Lava Cake. So Lava Cake was one of the only surviving parts of Sand and Sails, but the version that we have now, excuse me, and the version that were slightly different. The level design was kind of weak in the Sand and Sails version, so I believe Wurgazel and Jonas worked on that to make it up to a good standard. In terms of artwork, this area in particular was meant to have a lot of greenery, but obviously that wouldn't make sense, so it had to be themed to be lava. But the concept for this and what I made are actually pretty accurate, so I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. I believe the only difference was the pillars were kind of different. They looked a bit better. We ended up just using these crappy these crappy pillars, but yeah, not much else really to say about this area, but I'm pretty pleased with how it came out in general. KO made the sauna effects, really nice effects. As for the construction of the cake, pretty straightforward stuff, just a standard model, but I had to put the seams somewhere, so I decided to put them here, because although you can see it on the outside, the majority of your time is spent on the inside, so you don't actually see the seam, which is pretty good, I think. There are a couple of instances where you do see the seams, and I believe that's on waterfalls and stuff, although it looks like I did a pretty good job with that one, so I'm glad. But there was an issue where because the lava originates from the center. I believe I can show you. Maybe I can't. Let's see if I can get a bit closer. Yeah, so there's the UVs. So obviously I couldn't have that in the game. So in order to do that, there are pillars to hide that. So yeah, here we are in a hell map. That was intentional. But and then obviously the birdhouse was also from Sand and Sails, but the birdhouse that you got, and once again the birdhouse that was in Sand and Sails, were once again very different. In fact, the birdhouse in Sand and Sails was kind of like Twilight Zone-y in a sense, because there were times when you would go into a birdhouse and then suddenly everything would be giant, and we used a lot of trickery for that, and that was kind of weird. So yeah, there's an example of one of the seams I was telling you about. Not exactly the most pretty seam, but my main goal was to make sure that the insides were at least decent looking. The average player won't be looking at that. So yeah, I'm really pleased how it came out though, because this part in particular, this hole, I was sort of like, how can I make this hole look good? And so I just added some wavy effects to it, and it actually came out really good, so pretty happy with that in general. Though these shadows need to be turned off. But other than that, yeah, pretty standard stuff. Get some yarn. Oh, there we go. This reminds me of Law.
This is clearly a safe place for a child to be.
But so I don't. Okay. Nah, can't be bothered. Yeah, I think we did a good job. Although it looks like I didn't hide it here. I think someone moved my pillar. That's the trouble with artists and designers. They don't always get along. But yeah. So one of the changes to the ice hat is that it can take damage now. So it should crack. Yeah. Sounds like that that Counter-Strike thing, or that Call of Duty thing with the crosshair. That noise. I love it. But yeah, pretty standard stuff. I don't really think there's much else to say about this. It's one of our... Oh, hello. That's pretty gnarly. That lava's floating. It's so that's that. And apparently that that fence is floating as well. Charming. Actually, Raz, I think it might have been you. I think Jonah saw some videos and were like, hell no. Don't quote me on that. So yeah, pretty straightforward. And then Jonas obviously made the cutscene coming up to instigate the finale. It's got a really cool sound effect. I really like the sound effect. It kind of reminds me of like Mario or something. Fantastic tune. Yeah, pretty pleased overall with how the visuals came out in this one. And those plants were quite fun to make as well. They came out pretty good. I love that sound. Alright. Voting time. Where are we going next? I want. Okay, Birdhouse it is then. Can I afford that? I don't think I can, no. Oh well. Twilight Bell is this way. So, yeah, pretty. I think I've said most of what I wanted to say about this. So let's see, Birdhouse. Is there anything particularly interesting that comes to mind? Well, we'll talk about it when we get there, but this place was kind of cool to work with. Also, does this music remind anyone else of Skyward Sword? It kind of reminds me of Skyward Sword. It's got that kind of calm vibe to it. My notes. Actually, I didn't bother with the notes anymore. Just carry on, shall we? Yeah, isn't it? Pascal's really good at he's really good at replicating that kind of Nintendo-esque music. But yeah, the zip lines I was telling you about before, there was a lot of movement as well, like left and right and stuff, which was really fun and engaging. Kind of a shame that it just became a little ride in the end. But oh, thank you. I did not know that. But huh. Yeah, these islands were added to obviously pad out the journeys to each landmark, just make it a bit more interesting. Because the horn mechanic is the final version of the telescope mechanic that I was telling you about yesterday. But I guess I will repeat that because some people might not have heard me. But original, that's a thing apparently. So originally you would use telescopes to look for islands, and that would unlock the zipline. But then obviously when the Alp stuff came along, we had horns added to make the theme work a bit better, and it came out pretty good. Raz asks, are the kids here related to the lost children from Subcon? So do you mean the sand people? These guys? These ones? Because these are just Sand Cells people that were repurposed to be Alps people. And Jonas refers to them as little goats. Although goats. It's up to you to decide if they are actually goats or not. But yeah, once again, these rocks were added by Pascal. Did a fantastic job. Just saved my hide, actually. Because it would have looked a lot more bare otherwise. Also, that bell. Did anyone else see that? The bell looked really weird. Oh well, whatever. So we go to the left, straight to the bird. Yeah, look. See, the bell looks really weird. The heck? Oh, I guess it's LEDs or something. Pfft, whatever. But also, do you want to see the most dumbest thing ever? The most pointless spring in the entire game. I don't know why it's a thing. But yeah, a lot of my time was spent adding decals to everything. As Dan knows, especially making decals takes a lot of time, and placing them as well. So a lot of my time was just spent placing decals. I mean, as you can see, like, look at this. There's decals around this mountain, right? All manually placed. Yeah. It's once again designed by Wergazel. This is quite a creative puzzle. I believe this is one of his sort of earliest puzzles. Did a good job. Let's get his first try. Oh no! I fucked up. My speed run has failed. Oh yeah, here's a fun little fact. Those eggs over there, those are the eggs in the moon level when you do that nest thing, and I just repurposed them because you're never gonna like notice. So yeah. Definitely one of the best things about Outs is just the views. Although my frame rate's dropping. Great game. Egg. So yeah, the cage was pretty fun to work with. Just standard cage model and scaled it up. Pretty straightforward stuff because, you know, once you slap metal on something, it's pretty straightforward. Making giant stuff with metal is easy. But, yeah, place the bushes in manually. That came out pretty good. Okay, apparently Flame wants me to do the pacifist route, so I will try the pacifist route. Don't kill the birds. I really like this room. It's got a nice little cozy feel to it, I guess. The little sun rays and stuff. Just a subtle little thing, but I do like it. So, Birdhouse, was there anything particularly in mind? Jonas blocked out the initial level, and then he tasked me with converting it into 3D. Definitely one of the hardest tasks I had to do, besides the planet and the train, I believe it was. No, the boxes. That was it. These are... Oh, yes, right, yeah. So the eggs. The eggs are actually a repurposed enemy from Subcon. We used to have these enemies called shrooms, or shroms, if you want to call them that. You know, bombs, shroms. And they worked exactly the same way, but they just looked like little plant things. So they were repurposed for the eggs. Pretty awesome, actually. But yeah, as I was saying, this task in particular was pretty damn hard. Every plank of wood is unique. There were a couple of bugs here and there. I think you can see this this UV here is facing the wrong way. Just a side effect of making each plank individually. And this one here as well. So that's that. Yeah, well, Subcon is very Wind Wakery, right? All the plants and stuff. Okay, I was trying to see if he would kill the crows. I was just kind of curious. Yeah, I think I actually got lost here as well. The level is a little confusing. Oh! Damn Elvis birds. But I think once you understand the layout, it's pretty straightforward. I think Dan or Kona, I think it was Kona that got really lost. But yeah. Here's something very unsightly. Ugh. Just one of those things that didn't get fixed in time. What else is there? Obviously, very nerve-wracking level. Oh! This is what happens when I look at chat. And fun fact, this song is the song used for White Tower Forest. Slow down. Alright, please don't hit me. Thank you. Although the version that I used for White Tower Forest is actually a unreleased song. And I don't think it was actually put on B-side, funny enough. Little side area to reward explorers. Here's your little rift token. But, once again, just a lot of modular meshes put together, a lot of chains and stuff. Modular is king in this level. Also, you want to know what painful is? Painful is watching Happy do the Death Wish challenge for this level, and every time he got to this point, he just kept dying over and over and over. But the stupid guy would get the mafias as well, and then come here and then die. And I was like, no, Happy, what the heck are you doing? Just try and figure it out before you do all the side missions. So here's a kind of a weird thing. I thought it was a bit weird myself, but you have to go this way to get some random horn. I don't know. But yeah, this is kind of a cool mechanic. Jonas programmed it to knock the egg towards the player. They specifically go for the egg, which is really cool. What's up, Void? What else? Is there anything? I like how there's just like some random spikes on this one house. Because I guess the level design was too confusing, so Jonas just put some spikes there to say no. So yeah, let's see, he's going for the egg. He keeps trying to knock it into me. And here we go, the shortest zip line. And here is the ugly baby collision. Actually, I think the collision's a bit off. I don't know if that's been fixed or not, but there is a bit of funniness with this collision, I think. Maybe it's been fixed now. It's pretty good. So, yeah, there was one thing that was cut from this bird. And that was when you first got to the beginning, this part here. When you first woke up one of the exploding eggs, the camera would pan across to this guy, and he would actually roll over. And he would rumble the screen, so that was your indicator to say, hey, don't wake this guy up, sort of thing. But the problem with that was that sometimes it would trigger as you were jumping into that hole, and because there's a gap there, the camera panning combined with the rumbling, you would just fall, and it would just confuse players, and it got me a few times as well. So that was cut out, and he just stays upside down or whatever. I think he actually slept normal ways at first or something. I guess that was just cut. But what is the story behind this unit? I don't understand. What do you mean, this unit? Oh, and then obviously there's this custom animation, once again signifying that the bird mustn't be woken up. But yeah, once again was cut. So, because I think the idea was that you were supposed to sneak, kind of thing. But I guess it wasn't very fun. So yeah, apart from that, you got a different birdhouse to what the Sand and Sails one was. Alright, voting time please. Twilight or Windmill? Okay, Twilight. Definitely one of my favourite areas in the chapter. The Windmill is one of my least favourites, so and I'll talk about that later. But for now, this path was meant to have 3 islands like every other place, but they were cut, and I don't know why they were cut. I don't know if it was once again just, oh shit, I haven't got the mask. Ah! Alright, well I guess we're doing the Windmill. So that's one of the things that I don't like about this. Does anyone know where there's yarn? No, I'll just do it naturally, I guess. It's whatever. It's fine. I'll do Windmill, and then I'll just like get some yarn or something. But yeah, so Windmill. Starts off with this very basic island. I think this was one of the first islands that was made. Goat outhouse, outpost horn. Definitely didn't change all that much, really. Definitely one of those introductions to what Alps was, which was pretty cool. Once we saw what the concept of Alps was, we were pretty excited to work on this. Yeah, I could probably cheat, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. So you could originally jump on top of this house and then go straight to the end. I don't know if that's still possible, but I definitely fixed it so that it wasn't like initially. Maybe some speedrunners found a way, but yeah, that was me stopping you boot troop from skipping. So that's that. But I do like the platforming. Pretty good platforming. You could do some really good skips here like this, and then I think you can do this, right? You can skip this or something. And do that. It's really cool. It's definitely a very versatile level. And there you go. Easy peasy. Don't curse me, curse the cheese. Ah, fair enough, Raz. I wouldn't be surprised because you know, I didn't go like heavy on the nerfing. I just made sure that casuals couldn't do it for the most part anyway. So that's a good use of the ice hat. Really satisfying. Although the funny thing is that you don't even need it, right? You can just dive straight down and just dive cancel. So yeah, the ice hat has its issues, but it has its moments as well. But Raz loves it, so there you go. Definitely one of the best hats as well, visually. In terms of this, not much really to say. Those routes were kind of cool, but I think collision, there was a problem with collision or something where you'd bump into them. So they had to be placed in a certain way. And for some reason this windmill has issues with some people. I have no idea why. Maybe it's like frame rate or something, but yeah. Right, so we have to do the cat stuff, right? Everyone's favourite island coming up. Just go straight to it. So the cats originated from the moon. And there was a mission on the moon that was cut. And the mission was... God, what was it? How can I explain this? So there were these stars that appeared all over the level. And the cats would pick them up. And then you had to whack the cats to make them drop them. And then you would pick up the star. That would cause the cats to then chase you and try and steal the star from you. So you would have like 4 or 5 stars, and then the cats would start whacking you and trying to steal your stars and then run away, that sort of thing. And that's what led to the whole stealing of your hats and ponds and stuff, as they were repurposed. And I believe they were called the Lazy Paw Gang. I think that was their name. So there's one over there. Crafty little fuckers. See, you can't even get them. They're such bullshit. I could see it coming. Well, come on. Yeah, exactly. Who's the boss? So that's that. But otherwise, yeah, not much to say about the cats really. That was their main purpose originally. Please don't get me... Definitely one of the more obnoxious enemies. Well, at least he died with me.
Take care, kid.
But yeah. Definitely most people's most hated enemy. So we're just gonna do some epic platforming to skip all that. Huh. So yeah, that's the cats. Not much really to say there. There's actually 2 cat islands. Some people don't know that. And when they had to find the rift, a lot of people went to the wrong island. Myself included. So that was nerfed. So now we got to backtrack. But yeah, I do like these views, like especially this one where the sun comes into view. Just a simple thing, but just adds that kind of cinematic. And as usual, Hat has some really good movement. Feels really good. Honestly, it may honestly be my favourite platforming controls. In a non-biased way. Like when I played Odyssey, I just did not like the controls. Odyssey's controls are a bit good for speedrunners, I guess. Like if they want to, you know, do something a bit more complicated. But hats is very easy to pick up, I feel. So that's that. Okay, Windmill. Is there anything to say about this fucker? Because I really hate this level. Can't look up. Why can't I look up? For some reason I can't look up. Sometimes. I don't know why it's doing this. But, oh, actually, I've got a camera badge. I'm such a dumbass. There we go. Let's see. Was there anything that particularly comes to mind? This wasn't from Santa's Cells. This is a unique creation for this level. This was designed by Wergazel. This is his big giant baby tower. I mean, they came out wrong. This is his baby. This is his child. Is what I'm trying to say. And it kind of makes me laugh because Hat got into some kind of like Danish newspaper, and they used a picture of the windmill, and it was using some kind of like really ugly looking placeholder windmill parts. It pains me to see that on a national newspaper. So that's that. In terms of like actual design, not design, 3D art, this was one annoying fucker to make, I'd tell you that, because this is all one object, the outer shell and the inner shell. And as I told you before, making white work in Unreal is like, no, you don't do that. But I don't know how, but I managed to get it to work for the most part. You'll find that dominant lights work really well on the outside, but on the inside not so much. And I believe the light map is 1024. I wasn't sure if 2K resolution light map was a good idea, so I avoided it. But yeah, you can kind of see that the light map is not too great, bit rough. But once again, it's just one of those things where how do you tackle this issue? And I believe the only answer to that would have been to have disabled light maps and baked the shadows in. But as I said before, we were just struck for time, right? We had like 4 months to do this entire level, and the amount of stress and work that went into it, including having to get even Pascal to assist us with placing some of these islands, so you can imagine in general. So I mean, it came out pretty good overall, so I'm pretty glad with that. I remember when Jonas was like, right, time to 3D it up, and I was like, oh no, because it's so big and there was so much to do. In fact, I think some of it is BSP, because like I said, it's just a mad job. Mad job.
Not everyone.
So many badges. Yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, Windmill is definitely one of those ones that I loathe a little bit. But there are a couple of reasons for it. One is that I think it's heckin' long. And it has a couple of platforming challenges that kind of piss me off. At least it did initially. Back when I was playtesting it, the camera was kind of fiddly and it was really pissing me off because I kept falling down and dying and stuff, and I was going like, ah, it sucks. It's a great level overall. Let's see. Cool. Alright, let's go the top. We gotta go. No! What am I doing? What a noob. Oh my god! I'm doing a jack! No! Alright, let's sprint hat. Awesome. Man, it feels really slow compared to Deathwish. But yeah, in terms of 3D art, as I just said, big ordeal. But we did a good job, I feel. And I believe there was some really weirdness, right? You can go up here, right? Oh, he's disabled that. That's interesting. But you used to be able to go up here, and then there was all this section on the outside, up here, and I was like, why isn't there anything here? So I guess he disabled this to stop that, which is pretty funny. So that's that. Is there anything else that stands out? Nah. Yeah, it looks really slow, doesn't it? There's a fun fact. At one point, the developers, besides myself, we kind of wanted to make it rain, because this song has a very rainy feel to it. You can imagine just rain coming down sort of thing. But once again, it's just one of those things where Jonas was like, no, because we just don't have time to implement rain that can be turned on and off for just this particular area, sort of thing, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, it does have a kind of Song of Storms feel to it, which is pretty cool. I do feel like it has kind of Zelda feels to it at times, Wind Waker and Ocarina and stuff, which is a pleasure to work on, because I am a fan of Zelda. Do you remember the speedrunners found the skip where you can just ride the windmill? That's pretty funny. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, oh my god, all that hard work skipped. It's yep, Workzell did a good job making this work. Like, you could almost believe this is an actual fully working windmill with all the gears and cogs and stuff. Did a fantastic job. I wish I could relate to that, Tyler, but I played the first Sly and then I played the second Sly for a little bit and I was like, I don't like this change. I preferred the first Sly. But yeah, this is definitely one of those weird puzzles. This particular spot here, this used to have cameras, deadbird cameras, along the path, and we were like, that makes no sense. Why is there TV cameras in an ancient windmill? They had to be removed for that reason. Kind of dumb. But, yeah, you can see the light maps once again, not too great. Kind of a shame. Could have been a bit better, but oh well. Right, guess we'll wait for the train, huh? Or do I? Oh, you don't have to wait for it. That's interesting. And these carts, they're kind of bright, these carts, but that's just one of those Unreal things where they're skeletal meshes, and so they light very basically, unfortunately, which is something you have to live with. I remember watching a streamer, he fell from this point, and apparently if you use the hover badge, it would actually glitch, and it sent him all the way back to the beginning. I freaking died when I saw that. So bad. So TV Man was planned for the Twilight Zone. So I will talk about TV Man then, I guess. But TV Man didn't have much development really, just Twilight Zone reference. Alright. What a madman. Didn't even do it. I know, I just tried to blind jump there and hope it would work, but let's actually do's it for realsies. So I guess when it goes down. Ugh, it's too slow. Ugh. There we go. TV Man, yep. You'll find that with a lot of our characters, it's like Mustache Girl, Hat Kid, Mafia Boss, just, you know, that's their names, right? You could argue that's the law, that everyone is named after what they look like. Hab Kid, Mole Man, Raz Man, Dan the Man. Man TV. Timmy Man. Whoa, Timmy. So one of the issues I have with this is that the ropes aren't solid. Just a silly thing, but I was kind of concerned that players would try and walk on them. But I don't think many did, so maybe I was kind of wrong in that thought process. But, I just clipped. Clippity clipped. So yeah, this part in particular pissed me off during playtests because it was really hard. I think Workzell nerfed it a bit, but the fixed camera especially was fucking me up. I can't even rotate the camera. Yeah, I definitely got frustrated on this part. But yeah, overall pretty good level. I remember we had a lot of issues with the roof. I remember the 2Ds were like constantly getting me to change it or something. So I'm glad it came out okay. You don't even see it really, so most players are just going to go straight into the hole. So PBR, that is one shiny milk. Ow. So yeah, that's Windmill. As I said, Wergazel's baby. And it was a hell of a beast to 3D up. But it came out okay. It's definitely not one of my least favourite artistically. That would go to the moon. The moon is my least favourite. But yeah, right. I need quite a few yarns. And we are going to go and farm some yarns. Do you like the mods of the game? Yeah. Hell yeah, I do. I used to be a modder. Hehe. I've made quite a few mods. So, yeah, you could say that. Mods. Love them. Oh, that's true. I haven't done this ever. Skip it. Don't really care for it, to be honest. There's not much to say about cheating the race. Cheating the race was obviously originally, you raced... What was it? You raced something else, didn't you? It was... my brain is dead. What was it? I know at one point you raced a cat. That was in the beta, right? But there was something before the cat, I think, if I recall. But I can't remember what it was. Oh well, whatever. Let's see, yarn. Where's some yarn? This is a good time for that relic badge. Oh, there's one. Is that a rift token or is that a yarn? I think that's a rift token, right? And then of course there's the easy one, the red tickets. So we get this. 2. All mine. Awesome. Right. Can't believe I'm farming for yarn. How many do I need? 12. 2 more. Wait. Yes. There's one up there, right? Yeah. So, Gracelander asks, who was Tim, the CEO of Time? Tim, the CEO of Time. That's quite a difficult story. Let's see. Let me think about that one. So Tim, the CEO of Time, also named Tim the Time Lord originally. He belonged to a story that was radically different to what Hat in Time is now. And what happened was that Tim, the CEO of Time, went mad or something like that. And I believe that was because his timepieces represented his mind or something. So if the timepieces were missing, then, you know, time itself falls apart. So your task was to get back the timepieces in order to bring back Tim's sanity and restore time. So like I said, a very very ancient and different story to what Hat in Time eventually became. So is that Psychonauts? I did not know that. Let me think. Go this way. It's this one, right? Yeah. There we go. Dweller. Awesome. Alright. Bim, bam. Shazam. So yeah, Tim the Time Lord, pretty ancient character. And now dead. Dead in Vanessa's mansion. Alright, let's get back to Alps. Ouch. Don't know if anyone ever noticed before, but that's a face. Such a dumb thing. Timmy. Timmy was he lived in Vanessa's mansion, and he had a dark flame sword, and he was gonna be kind of a pain in the ass, I think. But then obviously Vanessa became a thing, and Timmy had no place. And yeah, dark flame sword. He used magic powers, dark, powerful magic, because Subcon was all about the dark, that sort of thing. But yeah, Timmy didn't have much of a place in the game. Eventually, got forced out and was replaced by Bo Kid. Right, let's go to the Twilight Bell. On.
The Twilight Bell is this way.
Yeah, I guess the tattoos would make sense. Very tribally, very sort of subconny. But yeah, Timmy didn't have much polish beyond that initial pitch. I don't know. Like I said, he was very roughly planned out. He was going to be the co-op character at some point, I believe. I think even Mustache Girl was going to be the co-op character at one point. But things change, things get cut. Oh, that's pretty nubbish of me. There was actually a thing. Actually, there is actually a fun fact I've got here. So the original plan for this area was that when you rang the bell, all these white symbols would appear. So they didn't actually originally be there. They were going to be hidden, and they would have appeared after you rang the bell, because obviously this is dweller-ified, so they would have appeared because of the bell. So
The Twilight Bell?
yeah, we even considered one of these guys to be the co-op character, but that was beyond just an idea. So yep. Oh my god, it's the thing in the trailer. Remember when Boop saw it and we're getting all excited? This should be fixed now, because that bell was black for some reason, so I fixed that. So, and for some reason you could see the fog in the top right corner originally, so that's been fixed as well. So what was the cactus's role in Sand and Sails? And once again, just literally had no purpose then. He was just a character that was concepted, modelled, rigged, and then that was as far as he got. Like I said before, Jonas often made a lot of quirky characters and then would write them in afterwards. So beyond that, he was just a quirky character that would have probably been like the fish dude, just a character that just had a purpose, and that was it. But there was the thief. I don't know if you ever saw that, but there was the thief character who would actually steal your wallet or something, and then you'd have to get it back, and then you could buy a water flask to travel. That was that.
Look at that thing.
Look at that thing.
I could reach it.
So this is pretty cool. Like a little dimension thing there. Pretty cool. Kind of a shame that the bell doesn't actually move with the player. And the transition here is a bit lame. I think there you can see the rock disappearing, which is kind of silly, but definitely one of our coolest areas, right? Just kind of like this unexpected. Especially the music as well, very dark. I love it. So yeah, this is one of those areas that had last minute touches applied to it. It was not in a good state. It was like still, cue the pun, it was white boxed, even though this is white. And it had a lot of roughness to it. So Wergazel did a good job of bringing it up to standard, and then I did the final polish in my own time because I was not satisfied with it. One of those last minute fixes, in fact I believe this was one of the last models I made for Hat before the game shipped, were these flowers. The Ulster. The Ulster was... What the fuck? Sorry, I was just confused about it. The Ulster was the original guy that ran away from you during the Alien segment in Chapter 1, Act 3. He was just kind of a weird character. I said this yesterday in yesterday's stream, that he's kind of like the guy in Yakuza. The guy in the underpants. Just random character that you're like, what the fuck? So beyond that, he was just a comic relief character that you chased, and then he would have a heart attack, and then you would bounce on his chest in order to bring him back to life, and then he would give you the timepiece. And that's as far as he got. There was actually an idea I had, and it was just an idea, by the way. This is just my idea that got declined, though I thought I was being clever at the time. But I suggested to Jonas, what if the Ulster was the Mafia boss, but he steals one of your timepieces and becomes young again? That was my pitch to him. And the idea was that you would see this Ulster all throughout each act, just being a goof job sort of thing, and you're thinking, who's this old man? And then you would see him take one of your timepieces, go into the Mafia HQ, and then he would transform into a young Mafia. But obviously that was declined, which is kind of a shame, because once again I just like to tie things into lore. And yeah, so that was that. This effect was made by KO Fanatic. Did a fantastic job. I really do like it. Very very hipstery, psychedelic, man. I love it. Oh yeah, so TV Man. So this entire area was it was kind of different, I guess. So in Sand and Sails, the original idea is that you would come across an oasis in the middle of the desert, and then you would swim down, and it would be really deep. I'm talking like Twilight Princess deep, you know, when you fight the fish boss. And then eventually you would see this very futuristic looking door, and then you would go through the door, and it would transition you to, I don't know, I guess, you know, like in Sunshine when you go through a cave door and then it would take you to a secret level. It was kind of like that. So you would end up in this Twilight Zone-y thing, and I've actually uploaded a video. Most of you have seen it by now. It was very Twilight Zone-y and puzzly with white doors and stuff. So that was that. So TV Man was the narrator, because if it was Twilight Zone inspired, then obviously it has to have a narrator. And we actually had a voice actor, who tried to do the impression of the host of Twilight Zone. What's his name? It's like Rob something. I think it is. It's been so long since I've watched Twilight Zone. Me and Jonas were really into Twilight Zone at the time, and so we wanted to pay a nod to it. Unfortunately, it didn't make the cuts after Sand and Sails got cut, so then it had to be Alpsified. Jenna has said in the past that this area is kind of her interpretation of the afterlife. So that's her lore in this regard, so take that as fact, I guess. You see a lot of goats, especially just walking back and forth, right? Like over there. Very symbolic. Actually, there's a skip, right? You can do like a skip here. Shit, I didn't do the double jump. Whatever. Whatever. So that's that. So TV Man was basically the host, and he would narrate Twilight Zone style, and beyond that didn't have any real thingy. It was meant to be very strange, right? You go down an oasis, you're in the Twilight Zone, there's a TV Man. Very Jonas, right? Very Psychonautsy. The Rough Patch. So the Rough Patch was the enemies in Subcon, and they were these bush enemies that would basically look like normal bushes. As you got closer to those bushes, they would start growling at you and start shaking, and that was obviously the sign to just stay away. But if players ignored that, they would get up on their 4 legs and chase you. And I believe they were invulnerable. They were cut for whatever reason, and that's it. That's all they were, just an enemy in Subcon. Right, let's go to the next area. I'm actually kind of surprised that Pascal made 3 variations. Very different variations, mind you. I do like this music. I think there's like a skip or something you can do here. Speedrunners do that? Yeah, speedrunners do this. Pretty straightforward puzzle, right? Yeah, yeah, I remember that too. Wasn't that Vincent that leaked it or something? Stupid Vince. Wait, did that? Yeah, okay. And then obviously this is one of those few instances where an actual like Zelda-like tune plays. You did a good job, sort of thing. So very strange. So as I said before, this area was like this area was not in a good state. So I just had to use any assets I could. So I literally took the Windmill assets and just grayscaled them. So like I said, it was a desperate time. But 2D did a good job polishing this up. And yeah, this is my shader as well. I really liked how this shader came out. So yeah, once again, like I said, this area was bare bones, so I added water. I figured that would help polish the visual theme, and I'm pretty pleased with how this water came out. This water took a lot of tweaking to just get looking just right, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And then KO did a great job with this. I mean, look at this, I love this, so good. But then you've got this like really out of place hook shot. That kind of looks a bit odd theme wise, right? Kind of a shame. And then you got this random ladder. This is a Mafia Town ladder. So that's that. So Grace asked what was the sandworm, and the sandworm was gonna be a character that popped out of the sand in Sand and Sails at random. So you'd be driving across the desert, and then a worm would appear, and he would try to sell you his wares. And I can't remember what he would sell. I don't think he was going to sell anything particularly interesting, but he was meant to be that kind of annoying tourist kind of guy, right? So he was all like radical and stuff. He was like, "Whoa, dude, buy my wares." And beyond that, he wasn't really fleshed out. He, I believe he kind of got reborn in the DLC as the fish dude. Same voice actor, I believe. I think. Don't take my word for that. Definitely sounds like him, right? But the sandworm actually has quite a few Easter eggs on him. He has a couple of JoJo references. He has a reference to Dan bonking on the last cheese. Just things like that. So yeah, this is kind of a cool act, right? This is really cool when Jonas showed this to us, all the clouds and stuff. Really cool. Grace asked, what about the Hat Kid Snatcher? That's just leftovers from the 3rd floor. Nothing particularly interesting. That's just how the developers set it up to work. Beyond that, it was just the Snatcher. But once again, just cut. Right, let me concentrate for a second. So I haven't done this act in ages. So which way do I go? I go to the Windmill. Right, okay, cool, let's do this. Left. Yeah, a couple of players got confused by this and went to the right. It's kind of painful to watch, actually. It's not the best design act, but still pretty cool. We're fighting nature. Hat Kid's model under the start of Muse Castle. I honestly don't know, but if that might have been a scale thing, like, because often we used Hat Kids to work out scale. Otherwise, it would be for cutscenes essentially. The collectible burb. I don't know what you mean. So that's pretty cool, right? Dodging some plants and stuff, but pretty baby. Take that. Ow. Yeah. Also a nice little touch. Although they haven't... Yeah, their collision's a bit weird. But that's that. Epic music, right? My favourite music. I think the new Gorillaz soundtrack came out when I was working on this, and one of the songs was playing. I was like, wow, this is cool. Definitely a great atmosphere to it, you know. I was really impressed with the cloud technology that Jonas made. Did a good job. Actually, yeah, I remember I stood here and I was just staring at it thinking, man, this is cool. I was very excited to show this off, so I'm glad did a good job. Right, so next one is the Birdhouse, right? Man, you can really feel the tension. This place is just falling apart. Let's get some sprint going. Let's get faster. Let's go. Speed run. So we got to get to the finale. Because I have said pretty much everything about Alps in that regard. Let's get some yarn, why not? I haven't actually seen the Death Wish of this. It's a speed run, right? I mean, yeah, it's a boss. You're fighting nature. Need to get a drink. Ah. Once again, the most pointless spring. Here's some cinematic. Whoa. Yeah. Wait, where am I going? Wakey wakey. It's been so long since I played this, actually. Oh, yeah, the madman, he did it. So yeah, Jonas amped up the pressure. These things are pretty scary, actually. Oof. Scary. And those things use Snatcher tentacles. Funny little fact there. Humpst. Alright. Can I get up here, please? Nope, apparently not. Whatever, let's just go this way. So that's that. Oh! Was there anything else? Yeah, so actually, there was one thing. There was a plant boss at one point for Subcon, but that was cut. You can actually see the model in the Subcon cave rift. It's kind of like a bipedal flower thingy, but that didn't get past the model stage. Yeah, it was going to be a giant plant that just sat in the ground, and I believe its positioning was near the hourglass, the giant hourglass in Subcon. And you would go near it, and then it would come out of the ground as this giant plant, a bit like Wind Waker, you know, the plant boss. But once again, just one of those things that just got cut. Hey, do I look like a speedrunner to you, Tyler? It's yeah, plant boss Dan. That's a never before heard fact. Did I explain Tim and Timmy yet? Yes. Yeah, I guess I did. But the short version is Tim was going to be... Wait, sorry, let me start again. Timmy was in Vanessa's mansion, and he was just kind of a pest. But then Vanessa became a thing, so he was cut. Tim, the CEO of Time, he was part of the prototype. He was the reason that timepieces existed. You had to collect them to make his sanity come back, and that was about it, really. So, that's that. So yeah, once again, cinematic. Sprint hat. Right. Whoa, that was scary. Why would I want to go to the lava cake? You realize that the whole world is dying right now. I'm trying to kill plants. The boss. It's yeah. Obviously a side effect of the 4-month development. Otherwise, if we had more time, I imagine we would have made the NPCs a bit more scared or something. Right, where's the... Ooh! There we go. Just one of the standard riffs. One of the ones that you've already played. But then things got moved around. Whoops. Oh, these things are scary. Oh, these things are scary. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Classic. But yeah, I did enjoy decorating these. These were quite fun to decorate. Ow. Okay, dying in Alps, that's a meme. Please don't die. Okay, cool. Alright, the illness has been saved, whatever. Also, here we go, synchronized stomping. And that goat just popped in. Anyway, here we go. Stomp, stomp. Wait, what? Nani?
Again.
Oh man, they've been desynced. What the heck?
And the goats seem to have come to their senses again. I don't really understand it, but I assume we have you to thank. We found this in a cluster of those flowers after they wilted again. You were pretty insistent on going after the others, so
Yeah.
I guess it belongs to you?
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us.
So yeah, pretty pretty basic ending. Once again, just a byproduct of the 4 months development, I guess. But and also obviously followed the tradition of every chapter having an ending. Mafia Town, you're the hero of Mafia Town. Subcon, you know, Snatcher tells you to get lost, that sort of thing. So for Alps, I guess this was the only thing we could do. Also, those flowers are still there. Also, I don't have my... whatever. But yeah, those flowers are still on. Right, let's carry on. Yeah, I forgot about this. Every time I see this, I just remember Dan's face. I've actually got that saved on my folder.
All right, I'm in. I made it. I infiltrated that kid's spaceship without.
I'm gonna get all the timepieces myself.
I bet she's collected a ton more timepieces than I have. Now, where does she keep them?
So yeah, Dan was like, "No way! No way!" Can't even dab. What the heck? But anything, is there anything I want to talk about this? So originally you were going to play as Mustache Girl for Mustache Girl missions, and they were going to tell the story of what she was up to, kind of like I don't know, like if you was to play as Bowser or something. But those got cut. Those barely made it past the very first stage. So all we had was the leftover of you just controlling her, and I guess Jonas wanted to have that kind of cameo. But we also needed a way to, you know, explain the final chapter, which is the whole planet being transformed. So this is how that was sorted out.
Jackpot! Time to mess with time a little.
That does not read very well. Excuse me. Time to mess with time. Bowsette. My favourite. So the planet changes, right? And that was created by myself, and was actually not going to be in the game. Jonas forgot to put it in, and I was like, Jonas, we're going to be shipping soon. Please put my planet in that I worked so much. And he eventually put it in. So it came out pretty well, actually. That's the planet. The quickest way to make it was literally just taking the level itself and just shrinking it down. So, not the most optimized, but it works. Especially when you blur it. So. So Grace asks, what about the area after the credits, which was kind of like a after scene? That was made by Wergazel, and it was going to be a way to just have the characters kind of reminisce about you, but I don't think it flowed very well or something like that, or it just wasn't very well polished, so we just turned it off and haven't turned it on since. Yeah, I know what you mean, Dan, but I don't think I had a choice on that one. I think Jonas requested it originally, so I made it, and then it was just sitting in the files for a really long time. And then fucking the game was going to be shipped without it. This entire sequence wasn't even going to be in the game. So that's that. So before I do the finale, I just want to make sure. So I did all of Mafia Town besides Cheating the Race. Cheating the Race doesn't have anything particularly interesting to talk about. Deadbird, I did all that, and I did the Cave Rift as well. The Alps Cave Rift I didn't do, but that was designed by Wergazel and had no input from me, so there's nothing really to say in that regard. The Mafia Town Rift was made by myself. That was the very first rift that we worked on, the Cave Rift. But back then it was kind of different in the way we made them. Originally they were going to be story elements, so each floor was going to tell a story. So in this case, that was the story of how the Mafia took over the island and kicked off the raccoons or something. So the raccoons were sleeping on some random rock island. They then took over and no, sorry, it wasn't a rock island. It was the I believe it was the clouds that sat above the geyser, and so the Mafia kicked them off the clouds and then built their base on it or something like that. So these floors were going to basically, they were heavily themed story-wise. That's why there was a Mafia swinging a bulldozer, because they were knocking the raccoons away, just things like that. So if you remember, I think there was like a trailer or something that showed that cut rift. That was eventually converted into the Subcon rift with all the raccoons and stuff. So that's that. That Mary Wowie, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, he was wondering if there's ever going to be a sale on Steam. There's been sales on Steam for a long time, my dude. We've had so many sales. We've had some like ridiculously high sales, like 50% off, including like DLC free. You've had plenty of chances to get it, my dude. Let's see. Grace asks about the Shady Sunburnt. They were just characters in Sand and Sails. They didn't have any particularly importance. They were eventually repurposed for Alps, and Jonas officially calls them little goat people. Although that's questionable, right? Grace asks, were there any characters who you wanted to add but didn't? Yeah, actually, there was a character. Well, not so much a character, but there was a funny little thing. In the files, you'll see that there is actually a box of kittens. And there was an idea we had once where you would find kittens running all over Mafia Town, and you could adopt them, and they would run around your ship. Once again, just an idea. Got to the model stage, but then just got cut because time and stuff like that. So that's unfortunate. So yeah, that's something that I would have liked to have seen, kittens running around the hub. So Flame asks, what was up with the moon tablet in the beta? That was going to be part of a sequence of secrets. So once again, Hat, very different in the early days, you know, finding secrets and stuff. One of those was the stone tablets that you would have to find in each rainbow balloon, and every chapter would have these rainbow balloons all over the level. If you actually load up the beta, you'll see the pictures of where those balloons would have been. And I believe the idea was it would unlock a secret level, and I think it was going to be something like Beta Hero in that regard, but that was once again just the concept stage. I think eventually, because I was moaning at Jonas, I was like, Jonas, can we please like do something, like have some kind of really cool finale kind of level to sort of, you know, like a secret, because you know like how Donkey Kong Country has those like secret levels. I wanted something like that. And so Jonas made this thing where you would use the ice hat to slam random parts of Mafia Town, like the ground and stuff, and these really clever holes would appear. They were done using shaders, and they would kind of spring out, and you would get these kind of like stone tablet type things. And the idea was that if you collected them all, you would then go to the black market, and there would be a portal there which would take you to a secret level. A very cool secret level. Once again, all that got cut, and what you got was the Tor Rift in the DLC. That was the finale, the secret super level, which Wergazel worked on, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, just you know, I'm a big fan of secrets in general. I think nowadays a lot of games just don't have really cool secrets. I remember in Banjo-Tooie, you would collect the giant glow thing, and then you would get like a skin for Kazooie, which gave you dragon powers, and I thought that was really cool. There was also like the ice key and stuff, right? All those kind of cool secrets. And then I was just like, when I cite bad games, right, that don't do secrets very well, Assassin's Creed 2, for example, you have to collect 100 feathers, and the prizes you get are a weapon that is not very powerful by the by the point you've got all of them, and the other is a costume which makes enemies attack you on sight. Wow. Thanks Ubisoft, that's the best fucking secret ever. So once again, I cite Dark Souls. Dark Souls, the developers, they have a really good philosophy, and that's, you know, hiding entire levels behind secret walls, and not caring if every player doesn't find it, because a lot of devs these days, they're too scared. They want players to see every scrounge of content that they've made. They are too scared to hide it. So once again, I appreciate secrets like that, like Ash Lake and stuff, as Raz has written. So that's that. Tyler asks, actually let me go back a bit. Sorry, I can't even say her name. Saiso, whatever. He says, what was that related to the robot cat? I don't recall a robot cat. I'm sorry. But if you can remind me, maybe I might know. Tyler asks, what about the Mafia ties? The Mafia ties were a currency that you would find throughout the level, a bit like farming, I guess, like blue coins. You would then pay the Mafia at the market, and I don't know, I guess buy stuff, tokens, whatever. But, you know, once again, just a symptom of early Hat in Time with a lot of minigame kind of stuff, a lot of secrets and hidden things, all stripped out to make a more streamlined experience. So that's that. Bonacle asks, why did the Moon Tablet have the Hat Kid on it with the Hat Adult? I don't know. I think that was just Vincent just being a goof. I think he actually wrote some Mole Man stuff on it as well. So that's that. Yep. Something about a robot cat in the localization files. No, I honestly don't know about a robot cat. There was a robot bunny, which was kind of like Genesis creation, just some kind of drawing or something. But a robot cat, no, doesn't ring a bell, unfortunately. I mean, there was a robot chapter at one point, but I've already told that story a million times, where you would do chores for old people, and then they would end up being robots that try and kill you. But that was a cut chapter. So that was that. All right, let's make some progress. I believe that's everything, really. Everything that's important. Mole Man. Dan, I have told this story so many times. I've written it on the Discord. You can't be blind to that. Well, I don't think it's puzzles, Raz. It's more just the discovery for me, personally. But anyway. Although I will say that Destiny, I know it's a very mainstream game, but Destiny does a good job of hiding a lot of things, which is pretty cool. Alrighty. So this wall, I just destroyed. I remember Aruki teasing the speedrunners, and he was like, "Oh, this is going to be the impossible wall that speedrunners can't get past." And then the first day, someone just jumps over it. So that's that. Grace asks what happened to Tim's friend and Four. Four, he was kind of like Funky Kong. He would make vehicles and stuff, but once again, just didn't really fit in with the game. After a while, we got much stronger art direction thanks to Jenna and her team. So Four no longer really fitted in, so we got rid of him. Tim's friend, once again, just didn't really fit, didn't have any purpose, so was just stripped. He was just going to be like some character that just sort of appeared here and there and just sort of assisted you, but very bare bones stuff. Very, very basic. But yeah. Alright, let's pay our respects to the mouse. And for those that don't know, there's actually a trophy now for Doka, who was the first person to do 100% Death Wish. And originally that had Raz's name on it. I was actually surprised that it wasn't Raz. It's got a nice little blood inside of it. Death Wish. And there's the infamous Boot Troop BP. So that's that. And I've explained arcing so many times. But yeah. Nice Stretter asks, when you're working with the dev team, do you usually call by their online handles or their actual names? So I just call them by whatever their names are. So Hypo, Wergazelle, and then some people with real names, Jenna, Jonas. Most people call me Hab, which is fine for me. I don't care. So that's that. Yeah, actually, Raz, I was going to put another trophy in for whoever beat the Timmy Day race, and it seems Zara took my idea because I was asking him to make that shader for me, and since no one beat the race, I guess he was like, well, Hab's not going to do it, so I will do it. And then he made that awful sun skin. It's alrighty. Robot cat toy. A part of me can't wait to become an old cat lady, cat queen. What the heck? I've never seen that before. And I've been there for like everything. Robotic cat toy. That is the weirdest thing I've ever read. The only thing that comes close to that is the Queen's Love badge, but that's not cat related. Weird. Anyway, so let's talk about this chapter a little bit. So this chapter was made actually quite a long time ago, like a few years back. I made this outside area on a 1 GB memory laptop with no mouse because I was sick and I was also a freelancer at the time, so no working meant no payment. So I had a choice, and that was to work on a laptop under a bed sheet, and it was fucking hell. Because you know what? You know what's coming up? Stairs. And not just any stairs. Stairs that curve. And I had to make that with no mouse. It was awful. So that's that. I honestly don't know, but when you're sick and when you've got nothing better to do, you find a way. But what does Raz say? Yeah, Raz, that's your own fault. But otherwise, this clock design, this was also added last minute. Jenna came in and told me to update this place a little bit, so I gave it the mustache motif and the clock as well, so that came out pretty good. But fun little fact, that castle was leaked several years back. Dan could probably share this story, but he found a picture of this castle, and we freaking slapped the hell out of the 3D artist that accidentally leaked that. Grace asks what happened to Moonjumper. Moonjumper, not much really to say. He was a character in Subcon. He lived in the horizon. He talked in rhymes. He kind of gave you little guidance, hints and things. His entire motive was basically he was one of the rulers of Subcon. He would use his strings to control the dwellers, and there was one instance where a dweller was in the village and he was like, I want to leave, I hate this place. Then some ropes would come down and sort of distort his body, and then he would be like, actually no, I love this place. So that was the Moonjumper sort of change in his opinion. Very dark, very creepy, but beyond that, that was his role, and then he was cut, and so Snatcher took his place. Bless the Snatcher. Well, I don't think we were freaking out that much, Dan. But it's just kind of a pain in the ass, because you're like, ugh, God almighty, how many people have seen this leak? And of course there were some like DLC leaks as well. I accidentally leaked one, if you recall. Hit them. But yeah, not much else to say really. I freaking hate stairs. Was Moonjumper the original prince? Yes. Yes, he was. Well, yeah. And I also said to Dan there was no lava in the final stage.
You're here too, lass? What is this place? I've never broken a law in me life. Oh, whoever they are, I'm nae gonna be judged by some mustached, hatless, hood-wearing, statue-posing, castle-dwelling, ticket-giving picnic!
Picnic! Classic. London themed. God almighty. Alrighty, let's carry on, shall we? Is there anything else that stands out? It's just kind of funny that there's like details like this, right? This chain, but no one's like gonna notice it, right? Because they're just gonna go up these stairs. Just silly little details like that. Pascal freaking delivered though with this music. When I first heard this music, I was just like, holy shit. Dinosaurs? Can't say. Dinosaurs? I prefer salty people, and that's why I make hell maps. Of course, let's pay homage to the most important thing ever. And that's the cheese. Can I actually get closer? Awesome. There's a cheese here that says cancelled because now speedrunners can't go in here and cheat. So that's been fixed. So how old is the Mustache Girl boss? Hard to say. I think it wasn't that old, if I'm honest. It was one of the last bosses that Jonas worked on. I went through quite a few revisions. I remember it being kind of short, and I was kind of disappointed with that because I wanted a few more attacks, but Jonas was like, no, we got like no more time, we're shipping soon, so that probably answers your question. It burns! I love this guy. I remember when Boop were expecting a Mustang mech. That was pretty funny. Good meme. Obviously, this was kind of a fun chapter to work on because there's a lot of mustache motives from. Let me get something that I can just like mustache shaped railings to mustache. I can't even say it. Mustache. Little designs here, little timepieces and stuff. Grace asks, what's up with the Science Owls? They were part of Trainwreck of Science. Trainwreck of Science was when the theme was science versus disco. Beyond that, they just threw potions at you that would turn you into a little tiny person, and you would have like a high-pitched voice and stuff, and it was kind of chaotic and funny. But once that theme was stripped, they were no longer Science Owls, they were Movie Owls. So, yeah. Huh, interesting. Right. So yeah, I think this area is partially BSP, which is kind of funny. But yeah, this is one of those areas that once again was like, you know, we're shipping soon, let's bring it up to standard. So I spent a good week on it, just bringing it up to standard, making these windows and putting these curtains up and stuff, just giving it a bit more fleshed out detail. So it came up pretty okay. Bonico asks, how did the science train crash into the moon? I would say the same way that Hat Kid crashes the ship in the DLC. The train would have crashed into the moon, and then you would have had to pay the debt for all the damage that you caused. And it's actually funny because the concept had these pedestals with the timepieces on them, but Jonas was like, what the heck, why are they so giant? And I was like, well, the concept had them at the height of the wood, and because of how big these halls are, I just made them giant like this and didn't think much of it. And Jonas was like, no, you gotta shrink them down, and I was like, no, it's too much work and it's gonna just leave a lot of empty space. So yeah, these things are unusually giant for some reason. So
We criminals can feel relief, yet not committed.
But yeah, not much else to say about this really. This was designed by Jonas and Wergezel. Jonas designed the first one, I believe, and then Wergezel did the final two. I believe that was what the design was. Burning bright. I added these metal things because before they were grates, but the grates had issues with depth or something. People didn't really see them against the lava, so I turned them into like this kind of PBR metal. So that's pretty good. Came out real nice. Also, I think this is still here. Yeah, I really should fix this, but these little lava meshes are poking through. That's been there since 1.0. What do you mean? They look like owls? Ow! What about them? Doesn't make them look like owls? Let's have a look. Look, owls. You tell me that doesn't look like an owl? Oh, oh. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. And here's a couple of things that people don't recognise. Actually, I don't think that's intentional. Hat kid shouldn't be there. I wonder if that's placeholder. Whoops. The other ones, you're going to have to be a bit more specific, my dude. What, the Elvis crows? Huh. Oh, I wonder. Anyway, one of the things that I did, which is kind of subtle, is that the lava flows away from where you're supposed to be going to kind of help you navigate which direction you're going in. Because, like, say I rotate it around now, right? Wouldn't you think that this is the way I'm supposed to go? Because this end and this end look exactly the same. So in order to combat that, the lava is used to help guide you. So you look at that and you go, oh, so the lava's going away from the bad guys, so let's go this way. So that was the intention of that. Just subtle little things like that. Also, there's something you probably haven't noticed before, but if you look at the walls, they actually wave, and that's actually just a scrolling texture. There's like 20, 30 of these textures just copy-pasted over and over to create that kind of wobbly effect. Because the temperature setting doesn't work for the short distance, so I had to improvise, and that was an interesting way of doing it. I don't know. Ask the concept guys. The conductor is just the conductor, just a really weird, quirky character. And obviously, there's like a detail that some people miss. It's really cool. She is judge, jury, executioner. Really cool. Alright, so I'm going to be concentrating on this boss for the most part, so if you've got any more questions, ask now. Nice detail. I love this door. Reminds me of like Zelda or something. Is her mustache real? I honestly don't know, my dude. That's top secret lore. There was one point when Jonas actually said on Discord that it was fake, and everyone was like, "What?" And he backpedaled on that, and I think Jenna slapped him for that. But I think he was just memeing. Personally, and this is just my personal theory, but I believe that because she was living on Mafia Town as a rebel, this was her disguise. That's my theory. Try and fit in with all the big muscly guys, so it's like a disguise. But that's just my game theory. So Bonicle asks, what was the Mafia cave under the geyser supposed to be? I kind of answered that yesterday, but the short version is that it was a space that I was going to use for some playable stuff, but it just ended up being underutilized. Lore-wise, my personal lore, it was a cave full of crystals that the Mafia were mining for jewels, and that was that. Alrighty, I'm gonna carry on then. So this was one of our strongest rooms. 2D did a good job with giving me direction on this. And there's actually a fun bug that Haruki found. He was able to get up here. Okay, apparently you can still get up here. Please tell me this isn't a thing still. Is this really a thing still? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Okay, it looks like it was patched. But apparently you could get up on top of that chandelier, trigger the boss fight, and then Mustache Girl would come up there with you and you would have to fight her on the chandeliers or something. Pretty wild. But yeah. There was a funny thing where Jonas deleted the gold material that I was using for those statues over there. And the game was about to ship, and so there were 2 giant Mustache Girls just standing there. It's pretty dumb. Alright.
I didn't punch old man for like 2 days straight that one time.
Is there a cheese up there?
Oh wow, what a touching story. Just kidding. Bad guy, next! I said...
Next. Is there a cheese up there? Probably is, but it's been a while since I remembered where all my cheese was. So here's a fun little fact. There we go. Don't know if you saw it for a second there. Excuse me. Let me try and do that again. But you probably saw it. Yeah, it's really hard to see right now. Can't. But down basically inside this hole is lava. Is what I'm trying to show you. So yeah, she was burning people alive.
Oh, it's you. You've been kinda a selfish little pest, but you haven't actually stood in my way.
Stood.
You get to go on. You're a good guy, I guess.
Who is the bad guy, Dan? Who really is the bad guy in this world?
Next.
Maybe Hat Kid's the bad guy. So yeah, we have 2 endings. Not everyone knows this, but you can actually give up. No, I'm not crying, but Jack cries all the time.
Really? You're leaving? Not even going to put up a fight? Pathetic.
So the purpose of this, not much really. I believe 2D just wanted to do a fake ending, so they just worked on it. It almost didn't make it into the game, if I recall. But nice little fake ending. I'm glad my name was in the credits. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, pretty funny little ending there, little detail. But cool. I'm kind of glad that it doesn't kill you or teleport you back or anything like that. Ooh, that was a slap.
Excuse me.
There's also a bug sometimes where when she slaps you, you face the wrong way, and so Hackett smirks as well. Makes me laugh.
Don't you dare get anywhere near me. I don't think you quite understand who's in charge, little missy.
Little Missy.
You know, I was willing
And
to
yes,
forgive
she was
you.
clipping for
I
the
once
chair.
thought we were gonna be best buds. But nope, you turned out to be rotten and selfish. Save the planet from bad guys. Psh, who needs that,
Psh.
am I right? Look, at all I've done without you. I've
I
restored justice.
am the justice.
I am the justice. No more bad guys. Ever.
I think it would have been better if it was just I am justice. Whenever I read the justice, I think of Batman.
I don't need you.
I am
This
the
planet
Batman.
doesn't need you. Nobody will miss you, and nobody will care.
Damn, man, that's cold.
You are the bad guy.
Okay, so
Show you
this boss is kind of hard, so I'm gonna use Time Stop Hat.
deals with-
Oh shit, we're anime now. Can you not? Can you not? Thank you. Oh, I try and time that just a little bit too early. I'm trying to show off. Oi, 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 oi. Alright, no more messing around. Don't you dare, little missy. There we go. Very anime. I like how she smiles. She's like, huh?
She can get lost.
She can get lost.
Mustache Girl is not welcome here. Mafia say get lost.
That's right, get lost.
Get lost.
No one wants you here. Isn't that right, big lad?
That's a big ball.
This alternate reality stinks. Get lost.
And then everyone's favorite part coming up. Get lost, get lost, get lost, get lost.
Get lost.
Get lost.
Ain't that right, gang?
Yeah, get lost, get lost.
Get lost.
Get lost, get lost.
Yeah, get lost! What? But I'm fixing everything. No more bad guys. Why can't you see that I'm doing this for all of us?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it when everything's all lava and there's nothing else.
How can you stand behind these people? They're crooks.
Criminals!
And you're helping them.
Man, I feel so bad for Mustache Girl.
This ends now.
So Grace asked, what was secret level rectangles? I honestly don't know. Probably one of Jonas's earlier levels. Doubt it was that very interesting. Alrighty, here we go into the hyper zone, or as we call it, the bitrate killer. Apologies for the bitrate. My bitrate's not very high. I've got very shitty internet, so just bear with it, I guess. I'll try and speed up as quickly as possible. We anime now, boys. So crystal clear on my end. Ooh, that slap. I hate that slap. You think we could go better than this, Raz? You think we could do more anime? Give us some ideas then, Raz. Alright, let's put the sprint on. Hit Mustache Girl.
We have to help.
Definitely one of the best musics as well, right?
You got it, lad. Let's give her something she can jab at, that little red nuisance, so she'll get lost.
So she'll get lost.
Let's roll. Give us a shove right into that red lass's ugly mug.
Wonder how many takes that was for that laugh. Alright, let's go. Oh! Can't believe I got hit on my flawless run. Oh wait, yeah, of course, Mafia Ball. Derp. I haven't played this in so long. Not since the game came out. No! Dying on Mustache Girl. How embarrassing. Alright, thank you. Boing! I like the little tink. Tink! So I was kind of hoping there'd be a few more phases as well. It's kind of a shame that there wasn't, and there was actually going to be more phases, I believe. What characters did we miss? I can't remember what characters it was, but there were going to be another pair of these two characters doing something together. But unfortunately, it didn't make it in time. You flow. Alright. Please don't slap me. Ugh, bad RNG. Actually, does it pick up if you just touch it? No, it doesn't. I thought that was a feature. Weird. Did you see that frame perfect hit? Holy shit! Generous hitbox, by the way. Enough! Get those Bible thumps ready.
When Mafia explode, Mafia drop pawns. This gives Mafia an idea. Little Hat Girl need help to turn back time. If Mafia explode, Little Hat Girl get useful pawns. Mafia has to explode to save world.
I'm pretty sure when he says pawns, the mic kind of clips there a bit.
What? Plan is crazy. Hello, Mafia. No worry. If Little Girl succeed, Mafia come back when time rewinds.
Honestly, Grace, no.
Punch me with all your might, fellow Mafia. No hesitation.
I think all the characters have great voices. I mean, I've heard a couple of the like other takes, and like for example, Mustache Girl, she had a lot of different takes. There was like a British one, there was like an American one, there was even like a cutesy one. You know, she talked really cutesy. Oof. But I think we made some good choices.
Red-hooded girl, get lost. Hat Girl, here, take these.
Take these!
Those Mafia lads. So foolishly brave. But what's the point of living if I ain't got me train anyway?
Too real.
Alright, DJ Grooves. The two of us are gonna help this little hat lass. Get ready for a mean punch. And you aim for my face. That's my weak spot.
Well, Raz, if you look at Hat Kid,
This angry red lass needs to get
lost. If you look at Hat Kid, Raz, you'll see that she's actually got glowy powers. So it's kind of like anime power up, you know, like a spirit bomb or something.
What is this? If everyone disappears but me, then I'd be all alone. Bad guys, stop it!
Man, this reminds me of Freeze Me.
No, you're the bad guy. Get lost.
Super Hat Kid.
We don't need a hero. Get lost.
Get lost.
My powers are disappearing?
So you can see Mustache Girl's got dark power, and then you've got light power. So that's why you get all this sacrifice and stuff. It's like the power of anime and friendship. Boom! Alright. Bitrate. Here we go. Sorry about the bitrate. Just bear with it. Ooh! Ooh, man, this is like really easy. I don't know why you guys struggled in Death Wish. See, I'm not even getting hit. It's so easy. Come on, Rez. Get on my level. Look, easy. Woo! Oh, damn it, I got hit. Well, there goes my my streak. Ow! Ugh. Ow! Oh my god, what the fuck? Alright, calm down, please. Ow! And cue the very strange audio effect. As a rule, Grace, we don't talk about former employees. That's a rule. Can I dab? Do I have the dab? I don't have the dab. This was patched in that you can sit on the chair. So let's use this as a good time to chat for a little bit. That's a great angle, by the way. So yeah, pretty much, I think we'll be wrapping up this developer commentary. There's quite a few stories that I couldn't share because some of them cross over into design stuff, and I don't want to like cross over into Jonas's area too much, you know. That those are his stories to share basically if he ever wants to share them. But, it's mostly just like mechanics and things, right? Like I told a couple of things like the Alp zip lines and stuff. But in terms of art, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job overall. And we are improving. DLC 2 is going to look pretty heckin' good. And that's all I can say on that. But, alright, guess we'll move on then. This animation coming up was made by Hypo. One of his proudest animations, I believe. Almost didn't make it in, I believe. Also, every time I think of that now, I think of Kona's split sound. Switch! Switch! Huh? Wow, I look forward to it then. It's gonna be pretty hype. Was this fixed? Please tell me this was fixed. Hey, it was fixed. Cool. Sorry guys, but you don't get a choice. This is my choice. And I always say yes. Also, that reminds me, I believe, and I don't know if this is 100%, but I think the Tor Rift would only show up if you said yes. And I believe the theory is that because it hits her on the head, it creates the rift. So you dropping the timepiece hits her on the head. But I don't think that actually made it in, so... Can't believe I just killed Mustache Girl.
Don't leave us.
I can't push A because I don't want to leave.
Hey, kiddo! Let's make another contract.
I'm not buying what you're selling.
Don't you dare leave, lass!
Great animation.
Let's watch our movie, darling.
Darling, darling. Hey, it's Mr. Broom. See you later, Jack. Bye, Jack. Yes, that broom is named Mr. Broom. That's the file name for it. But as for the ending, yeah. Oh, by the way, that Snatcher there waving and then he sort of stops waving. That's like the saddest thing ever. It's so subtle. At the very end, he just sort of gives up. And that's a hand time. Not 100%, but in terms of what I want to talk about, that's pretty much, I'd say, everything. Besides all the really weird stuff. Like, for example, there was a point where you had to serve coffee to Mafia. Just weird things like that. Like I said, this is Jonas's stories, not mine. Oh yeah, so the credits. The credits were made by myself. The rest, well, not the rest, most of the team were at Gamescom at the time. I was still at home, so I worked on the credits. And there's a cheese. Quite a difficult level to make because of the perspective. I had to make sure that everything was hidden and stuff, but pretty clever. Pretty pleased with how it came out. Excuse me. Yeah, after I finished it, I was kind of like, you know what? I kind of want to make like a 2.5D game. It seemed kind of fun to make. Also, what I got Jack to make one. I was like, hey Jack, you should make a 2.5D mod. Yeah, I can't believe it was all a dream. Buy hats, by the way. Also, the rocks. The one in the Alpine is, well, you'll see the shape of it. It's a very suggestive shape. There's the toilet of doom. Huh, there's no snow, that's interesting. But look, if you see the rock now, see that rock on the right? That's a penis. Classic. But yeah. And obviously I had to make the credits for the DLC as well. Why not? Wow, Jack's in the credits. I can't believe Jack's name is Lane. Those birds were supposed to fly away, but I don't think they worked properly, so I guess I disabled it or something. Oh my god, it's Timmy! So if you look at the eyes, Timmy's in the background there. Dun, 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 dun. Also nice that I get to use more of the song, because there was more to this song, but it ended prematurely. Wonder what I'm going to do for the second credits. That's going to be interesting. Are those names overlapping? So yeah. There's only one Timmy, Dan. You can't have two Timmys, otherwise it's like Timlets. Tim Twiplets. But yeah, that's Hat in Time. So if you got any more questions, ask away. Though if it's a question I answered yesterday, I'm just gonna tell you to watch the VOD. Because I've told some of these stories too many times now. Hey look, Tommy. It's funny when I see some of my friends in the list there. Oh no, it's the scene when Kona was like really emotional, and I was like, oh god, I can't watch this. This is making me emotional. But yeah, all a dream. Not really. If anyone thinks that was denounced on the Discord, the dream twist is not real. As for why she has these toys, you know that she can stitch hats, right? So I'm pretty sure she could stitch those. But, so yeah, besides that, Pascal made this song quite a ways back. So I'm glad it got used. So then when she wakes up, she ends up in After Story, and that is a heckin' awesome 5.5 continuation. So edgy. So Dan asks, if you were to give Hat a big twist, what would it be? A big twist. I probably would have continued with the adult thing, and because do you remember I told you that the original idea was that you would end up at the bookstore. Well, the basic idea was that she basically didn't get enough fuel for her ship, so she just leaves her ship behind. She then jumps from planet to planet, or in this case walks home. The credits were actually going to play in reverse. You would walk from the right hand side to the left hand side, and then it would show the distance that she travelled in light years. She would then jump from planet to planet by foot because, you know, because cartoons, and then eventually she would end up at the bookstore as an adult, and then adult Mustache Girl would come in and be like, here's your timepiece, like at the last minute, you know, kind of revealed off camera kind of thing. And then I guess that was going to lead on to whatever was next. So I probably would have done that, I guess. Would have been a cool twist. Grace asks, what were some concept designs for Hat Kid? There was the drawing that, well, not drawing, there was the 3D model that was the placeholder at the time. It was like some yellow dude or something. But that was kind of lame. So Jonas did a sketch, I guess, of a kid, and then Luigi took that and turned it into Willy Wonka. So then that was that. Beyond that, she's had a couple of designs here and there. There was like a DLC idea once where she was on a snow island or something, and so she had like a snow coat on or something, and a bit like Ice Climber kind of style. So that's that. Well, you can do it in your mod, Dan. Project A. Adult Mustache Girl comes in and goes like, hey. No, Dan, that is such a meme. There's no such thing as Frostburn World. But, yeah. Hopefully all your questions were answered for the most part. And maybe one day I will stream the prototype in 10 years' time. Yeah. 10 years, can you believe it? Dan's gonna be like an old man. Let's see, is there anything else? Let me just go over my notes. I'm sure there's one more thing. Let me just notey notes, let's have a look. No. Yep, that's pretty much everything. That's all my notes. Willy Wonka. Got any mod leaks, Hab? No, not really. Besides the unfinished, unreleased, what was it called? Peaceful Hell. But that was just visual changes. Nothing particularly interesting there. Alright. Let's end it off with some kind of meme or something. Oh yeah, I suppose I should comment on that, shouldn't I? By the way, that's my drawing. Yeah, I was too tired to really appreciate your masterpiece, Jack. That was quite interesting. There was like an arcing down there, and what else was there? Oh no, the game's not finished. But yes, masterpiece, Jack. Good shit. Good shit. Sup? And now, Jack will be streaming.